Hello, this is H2O Gaming. We are starting a new series today. What was I thinking? In this series, I explain my thoughts and actions that I use to do different plays and strategies in World of Warships with different kind of ships, from destroyers to cruisers to battleships. And I explain why I did what I did. It doesn't mean necessarily that it was always the best outcome or it was the best strategy to be used. But in this case, maybe it helps you to follow up my thinking and maybe adapt or maybe learn from the situations or maybe have some suggestions how you would have done it better. In this situation, I'm moving towards the point B, and I'm accompanied with the Ohio battleship Lafay as a destroyer, and we are approaching the point. At the moment, the only thing is I see that the other side is quite busy. They are pretty equally, and we already get in fighting with the Incomparable and the Salem. The thought that I had, since I didn't see any DD, but I wouldn't expect him to be in the middle, I decided to go and flank. Reason is that I'm hoping that the Ohio is holding out the middle or of our section, the 7 and 8 line, so I can go and flank them, because the Incomparable and the Salem are quite tough to deal with once they are turning in front of you. And my idea was to go and flank them, because then the IP and my secondary guns hitting quite hard. So here I come around the corner and I'm seeing the Z-52 is already in the smoke, and I expect torpedoes to come. The Z-52 had about a couple seconds to decide what he wants to do, and I do not know if he had shot already some torpedoes or not. In order to scare him out of the smoke, I'm gonna shoot some torpedoes in this direction, and maybe also hoping to catch off the Salem, even so he goes backward. And there I try to give a small shot to the Z-52 in order to hit him. And I know that I have to advance a little bit more to get a better broadside onto the Salem. There goes one citadel, which did work quite nice. There were another citadel, third citadel. So the Salem from catching the Salem broadside is not so difficult. But you can see how hard he did hit me. Even though that I was angled, his guns are really outmatched me here. But since he was not able to turn anymore, he decided to go backwards. Probably would have been better to turn towards me and try to prolong the fight a little bit, because I think one or two more salvos from him would have finished me. I cannot engage the Incomparable anymore because I'm expecting the Z-52 to come around the corner. But from the angles of his shots you can see that he's probably behind the island. So I'm slowing down to see if he will come up the island, and also maybe if I can get a shot on the Incomparable, which already got destroyed by the Ohio and the Lafay. Here I'm signaling the Lafay that I need to have sight around the island, because I think he's around 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock from my position and is waiting for me. So the Lafay understands my situation and moves around to spot the Z-52. So we are waiting. Another idea could have been that the Lafay would have made a wider turn to approach the cap and see if the Z-52 is still in the cap or if he moved outside. So I'm waiting, but now maybe I get too curious. Now, seeing that I'm in the hydro range, I should be around, I think, 4 to 5 kilometers of range, so I'm pretty sure now that he is behind the isle. And he's waiting for me to come around. So I'm waiting here and see what the Laffey is doing and if he spots anyone. So we're waiting. So there he spots the Z52 and he sees that he was pretty much waiting for me. So I wait that he's engaging in a fight. As you can see, he is moving too fast forward, and usually the DDs are very hooked into their vision. So I did not need to engage anymore, but since the Laffey already worked it out. And he's still in pretty good shape. So from a gunpoint fight, it's no match. So here my intention is to heal up again, to wait maybe like 30 seconds, but help out the situation at point A. So I'm using the fog that the Z52 created to maybe approach, but the Mecklenburg is still quite far away. I probably would hit him, but that must have been a lucky shot. So, but I'm in a quite comfortable situation. I can just sit here and wait. But I don't want to disturb the Mecklenburg too far to see if the torpedoes from the gearing are hitting. So I'm leaving the Mecklenburg alone. And now I'm coming into sight slowly. And I will have to use my smoke to approach the Mecklenburg, because in this long range would not make any sense. So I need to come closer. Here I'm not shooting, I'm still approaching because the range of my secondaries are already quite close, and I do have sight on the target, so I can approach much further. Shooting my AP from lower than 10 kilometers makes much more sense against the Mecklenburg. And I see also that he's turning in. So I can just wait to see if he gives me any broadside or not. Since he's actually not shooting someone and he's expecting me to come out of the fog, I'm just waiting until we are in close range. And you see in this distance, my secondaries are hitting really hard. So I'm trying to get a broadside here and maybe a citadel, which does not work, but Mecklenburg is a tough ship. So the gearing finishes him off, and we are just waiting for anyone to catch the hull, so this shouldn't be a problem. So this was my first case. Let's move on to the second. Here I am with the Napoli again, and since I do not know who's gonna move with me towards B or A, I'm asking a battleship to follow me, but apparently he has other ideas, so he's not going to follow me around, so I'm pretty much by myself at the moment. Since there are no DDs, I'm not so scared, so I have to see what I'm expecting. Usually with the smoke that I have, I pretty much have a out of jail card once I'm seeing something that I do not want to engage. So I'm quite confident to be able to deal with anything on the other side. Probably Minotaur would be the worst because that thing is quite hard to hit once you know what he's doing, and he kind of usually hides behind an island or tries to kite you, but he's faster and harder to hit, or maybe brawl it out with a Napoli. But looking at the other side, I'm seeing that pretty much every ship is on the other side as far as I can see. So there's only the possibility that maybe for certain I don't have to deal with the Minotaur, that probably the Libertad is both, they are both there too, so probably I'm only facing the Napoli. So I'm giving a shot to the Minotaur to just move him out of the position there, and you see the dispersion is quite high but I managed to hit a little bit, and that's not so great for the Minotaur. So he's kind of busy dealing with me, and therefore he's not able to shoot anyone else. The Libertad is, they're both moving, so I'm trying to get like a far away broadside shot, and which works, and apparently I did light someone on fire, which is always nice. So I'm getting shot at with a smoke, so this is very clear I'm facing Napoli. So in the moment I'm not in the best situation to approach the Napoli, because he's on full health. I already lost half of my health because I was not paying attention to angling him, which was not such a great idea. So I expect him actually to make a move forward towards me. And in order to catch him off guard, I am sending some torps his way. And I'm actually just waiting for my heels to come up a little bit. So I make a second turn to be able to decide if I'm very close or if I can see him coming and he wants to brawl it out with me, that I have the opportunity to maybe hide behind the island on the left-hand side if the engagement doesn't go my way. But since I don't see him coming, and he should be at least inside right now, I'm expecting that he's either waiting behind one of the islands or yeah, he's playing defensively. So this gives me the opportunity to get another shot off the Minotaur. It's not that I have anything personal against the Minotaur, but I think these ships are quite dangerous and they are quite hard to deal with. And there's in Napoli. So for whatever reason, I decided that HE is the best opportunity to deal with the Napoli, because he's slightly angled, and I think that he's also quite far away, so I'm not expecting to land like a citadel shot from this direction. And I'm just following him. Since I have two guns in the front and he's not shooting at me, he's kind of ignoring me, which is, now that I'm in secondary range, which is certainly a bad idea. So if he keeps going like this, this is very easy for me to get some money. My heel is up now already, and my smoke has to wait a little bit. So I'm happily shooting him. Now I'm switching to AP because I'm close enough to do some damage, and my secondaries are really going forward. He's now deciding that it's time to approach me, and since I'm pretty sure that he wants to torp me, he has to angle in. And angling in is actually quite difficult. You have to show a lot of broadside, which is for both of us at the moment really, really risky. So even though that I did not change the angling, you can see that he maybe was expecting it, but also didn't want to show too much broadside. But now that he already lost some of his torps, I can shoot some torps in his direction, and I'm not quite sure what he wants to do, if he wants to ram me or so, but I'm hitting in with a torp, and that's it. And of course I had some help from the Montana, so this was actually quite a good engagement. But my team did really well on the side. They were a bit distracted maybe by me, but this looks like an easy win. So I'm just waiting for the Smolensk. It's a light cruiser. Usually Smolensk, if he doesn't have sight on you and he kind of brawls out with you, that's really not difficult, because the HE doesn't do so much damage. It's just like he's lighting fires and fires. But this doesn't concern me at the moment. So that was a quite easy win. Let's move to the next. This is one of my favorite maps. It's everyone is quite close together. You don't have much decisions to make where to go. And actually, since you don't know where the enemy is going, it's kind of like you have to adapt to the situation at hand. I'm on the C flank, seeing with the Z42, which I basically need for torps and for spotting. The only thing I can say at the moment that I am running towards Mecklenburg. I'm not so afraid of Mecklenburg, but I don't want to brawl it out with him either. So I can hold my flank. So I can see now a Vampire 2 is on our side. He is no match for me, but he definitely can outgun the Z42. But he's kind of like smoked up quite late, so he took a lot of damage, especially at the beginning of the game, which will eventually force him to play a little more cautious. I'm trying to support and see if I can support anything to the left side, but it does not make sense to deal with the other DD. So I'm taking a blind shot here to the Vampire, and at the same time keep the Mecklenburg engaged. You see, he takes some damage, but it doesn't work too well. I'm aiming a little bit too high here, because I'm not expecting and not switching to AP, because I don't think that I can broadside him from this angle. I think it should have been an idea, but basically I don't want to switch to AP because I want to engage the Vampire too, because I expected him to be a bit more aggressive towards me, since I'm distracted by the Mecklenburg and he also has fire support. So I'm going around the corner to see if I can take my secondaries on the Mecklenburg a little bit more to do some more damage. But apparently the Vampire 2 is not going to show up anymore. So I'm moving towards the middle because I see the middle flank is quite under stress. And I want to help out my flank a little bit, or the middle end a little bit, and maybe also engage the Hawaii. So there I see he's playing peekaboo around the corner, which is okay. It's a good situation, good place to be. So I'm expecting him to peek out and go back into the corner, and he keeps on hiding. So I'm just tanking the middle now, supporting that we are capping. And there's the Vampire 2. So I'm giving him a couple shots. You see, I'm still keeping on HE because I'm basically fighting destroyers in the middle. There comes the torps from the Z52, and like I said, he's gonna show up around the corner, get some shots, and then he goes back. But he's gonna get hit too, so I'm not quite sure what's shooting me there. But I'm kind of hanging out with the Libertad at the moment. But for my comfort, we are way too close to each other, so we cannot quite move. So I'm kind of deciding when to shoot my torp, so I'm not hitting the Libertad. And I'm going around the corner. Conqueror and Sibir is no match. Sibir should be way stronger, and I'll tank the Conqueror. I'm not quite sure if Conqueror has some torps, but shooting frontside is not a good idea. So I'm planning on torping the Sibir to just help out. But Sibir does something quite clever. He's for now ignoring the Conqueror because he knows I'm the bigger threat at the moment than the Conqueror. So he's like finishing him off quite easily because he's gonna outmatch me by far. And they're gonna slug it out now. Let's see, guns-wise they're pretty much the same off, so that will be just a matter of luck. Who's gonna see the little and who's gonna survive it. Mecklenburg is gonna get taken over. Conqueror took a huge hit from the Sibir, but it wasn't enough to finish him off. So in return, the Conqueror did some serious damage too, but not as much as the Sibir does. But it comes down to reload time now. So you can see 1-2 shots, salvos off, that's almost finished, third shot cut off, that worked. So I'm not quite sure if he even won this game or lost it. It should not matter. It was a fun game for me, so we move to the next one. This is video where I played the Colombo, which is a ship that I'm playing more often. It's considered quite strong, but I still don't have a feeling for it. How am I supposed to play it? With the legendary upgrade, I'm playing it actually to mid to long range at the moment, but I'm not quite sure if that's so much fun for me, because usually I like to go in brawling and to things, and certainly Colombo is hitting really hard, but that's not the ideal ship to do. Here I'm moving in and I'm thinking like, okay, why don't I go there and like keep the middle a little bit, because my guns are actually quite able to deal with the Petropavlovsk, and I'm thinking he knows this too and he doesn't want to engage anymore. So I'm loading sap because he's already angled away because he's leaving, and that's the best choice to deal with him. And also I don't have any HE. So there I see some torps coming and I'm thinking, okay, that's bad, because neither Libertad nor the Petropavlovsk have torpedoes, so there's the Shimikaze on our side, and I am not the best ships to deal with torpedoes, because I'm not really mobile, but for some reason I really managed to deal with it. And I found a spot where I could pass the torpedoes without getting hit. So I'm quite confident now that I have some time with the Shimikaze to just deal with it. So I'm smoking up. Probably it would not have been worse to shoot the Petropavlovsk again. It would have been much more sense to just approach and maybe fire at the Libertad a little bit later. That cost me about 20% of my HP and a fire. So I'm loading up the AP. Did not really get a shot off, and I'm just waiting. Now I'm seeing, okay, he comes around the corner. And I'm having an AP ready, and I'm thinking, okay, he has to be broadside. So I'm waiting for him, and let's see how it goes. Usually I should win this now. So I aim correctly, but did not hit right. So I should have shot much more in advance. I miscalculated the travel time. So to Citadel Libertad from broadside is actually quite difficult. You have to aim beneath the main gun turrets. So I'm doing the same, try again, and missing again. So I did some damage, maybe total 30,000, which is not enough to finish off the Libertad. Hoffman's trying to help me with torpedoes. I'm trying to shoot Petropavlovsk with the back turrets again, but I'm not making it. So this was my game with the Colombo, which shows usually it works, but most important thing is I learned something from it. If you like to leave a comment, please do so. I'm always open for suggestions or comments, how I should solve the situation better, or if you have any advice to me. It's always important to improve. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.